Well, I'm out today on the Red Revolt. It's not too cold. I mean, it's not warm by any stretch of the imagination, but still, the air hasn't got that real icy nip to it. It's not raining today, but there's definitely water in the air. And it's a couple of weeks before Christmas. The season of goodwill, or so they say. Until you get into a crowded car park, you find people are prepared to kill you, literally run you over and squash you to get to one of the few remaining parking spaces. And stand in the queue in a busy supermarket and see just how charitable people are then. But Christmas, in the age we live in at the moment, has very little to do with the religious side of things. It's just a time when people feel the need to go and spend all their money. It's nice to treat yourself, get yourself something new. But I think sometimes people put too much pressure on themselves. You know, if you're going to get yourself something new for Christmas, good. But if you can't, and it only comes in January, it doesn't really matter. And some people are just got to have, really nice food and plenty to drink, and that's understandable too. Because we're constantly, in the modern world, being told that we need to moderate our lifestyles, eat less, eat healthier, give up this, don't do that. But as cyclists, there's always something we want for Christmas, because there's so much stuff everywhere you look. A new helmet, new shoes, different tyres, upgraded derailleur, new technology on this or that, maybe even an entire new bike. And so it gives us that excuse. So what's Father Christmas going to bring you this year? What cycling technology do you hanker after? And is all the new technology really worth it? And the answer to that question is, worth it to who? Because there are people who like to live in the past and they want a steel frame bike with ring brakes and all of that kind of thing. And on the other end of the spectrum, there are those who want an aero bike with electronic gears and carbon wheels and every bit of technology that you can throw at it. And the old technology people are often quite critical of the new technology people. And there are loads of people who are really critical of things like disc brakes, complaining that disc brakes even exist and wanting everybody to go back to rim brakes. And people who go, steel is real, ban carbon frames. But I've never come across any criticism the other way round. When somebody is riding their steel bike with rim brakes, somebody on aero bike comes past, they don't shout, come on, get a new bike, granddad. And it's an interesting human psyche, how much technology people are prepared to accept. Because if the people who are running rim brakes, if you ask them, Would you like to go back to a penny farthing or a bike with mechanical linkages on the brakes? They'd say no, of course not. If you asked them if they'd like to go back to a two-speed bike where the only way to change gear was to turn the wheel round, they'd say no. So they're prepared to accept some technology, but then there's a cut-off point. And usually that cut-off point is based around where they started cycling. What was the technology like at that time? Because when you started cycling, that was a bike. That's how bikes are made. Anything after that makes you feel uncomfortable, or makes some people feel uncomfortable. I don't mind a bit of technology myself. Do I have electronic gears? No. Do I see the benefit? Yes, I do. Personally, not enough to spend the money upgrading. But certainly if a new bike had electronic shifting, I'd be quite happy to have it. I do have hydraulic discs. And they are so much better than rim brakes. And one of the criticisms I've heard about them is they honk like a goose in the rain. And it's true. They do. While they're slowing you down. Rim brakes in the rain, no noise, and then also no loss of speed. And it makes a lot more noise when you crash into a wall. And the other one is a cycling computer. I love a cycling computer. I wish they'd been around when I was racing. Yeah, that's quite a common one on Facebook groups. Somebody will say, leave your computer at home and go for a ride this weekend. Bet you can't. And I'm going, of course I can. I just don't want to. And why would you? If you want to collect data for your own ride, what's that got to do with anyone else? And again, you never hear people saying, if you haven't got a bike computer, go and get one. Bet you don't. And then of course there's the great e-bike debate. People are very anti-e-bikes. I don't have an e-bike. But I certainly would like to at some point. I mean, I'm not unfit. But most of the really nice mountain bike riding is on the top of the mountains. And I just don't really have the strength to get up there. And so, as a result, I don't really ride the mountain bike that much. My brother does have an e-bike, an e-mountain bike, and he rides nearly every day. And he's built his fitness up and strength to a point where he could quite easily ride an analog bike, and it does from time to time. But he would never have started cycling if it wasn't for an e-bike. He didn't have the strength and the ability to start with. In fact, I've done 6,500 kilometres this year, and I think he's trying to make an effort to beat me on distance. I've also mentioned that, in my opinion, once you get to spending more than about £4,000 on a new bike, you're not really going to tell the difference in terms of performance. But a bike that costs £10,000 just feels really nice to ride. And so you don't get any performance gain out of it. But if you like it, that's up to you. And there is also the placebo effect. You get yourself a new bike. It feels great, so you push yourself a bit harder. You think it's the bike that's made you faster, but that doesn't matter. So whatever new technology Father Christmas brings you this year, just enjoy it. Don't let other people try and guilt trip you. Because you ride your bike for you, not for the other guy. So whatever Father Christmas brings you, just enjoy it. And if it gets you out on your bike cycling, then it's worth it. I was hoping for a new e-mountain bike. Father Christmas said, sorry, due to the cutbacks you can't afford it this year.